everyone. So as you can tell from the title of the video, I tried making a VTuber model from scratch. Now, what's my objective here? Why I wanted to make a VTuber model in the first place? Well, I just wanted to try making one. I wanted to try live streaming. So I just wanted to use a VTuber model, but then I realized it's too expensive. I don't have the money for it, and it's just a crazy market out there. But let's get started because we're not chit chatting here. Now, this model is a simple model, it's a half body model. There aren't a lot of parts in this model, no accessories or anything, so this model took me about 1 or 2 days to make. And depending on your character design, character model, and if you want your models to have expressions or not, it might take you a longer time to make the model. And now I just want to say the first thing I had to learn was how to cut, organize, and naming the model. Cutting the model is basically the joints of the model or separating the model into individual parts. This is the most tedious part on making a VTuber model, since you have to separate it one by one. The example is my model's eyes. There are upper lash, bottom lash, eyelid, inside eye, iris, pupil, eye shine. And that's just for the eyes, sadly, and there are still a lot more parts to go. Now, the important things that I learned while drawing the model is that the DPI settings, then the canvas size, the left and right, the export file, and the cutting process. Now, usually, if you're drawing an illustration or some kind of artwork, you draw in 300 or 350 DPI. But for a VTuber model, you use 72 DPI or 70 or lower than that is okay too. The reason being that if you use 350 DPI like I did before, I knew that you need to use 70 DPI. When you export to the Live 2D, your model will look very, very blurry and it just doesn't look nice. So use 72 DPI. Don't make a huge mistake like me. And then the canvas size. So canvas size can matter or it doesn't really matter. But for me, it did matter because um, depending on your computer, you shouldn't really go for a really big canvas size because when you export the model, it might possibly crash in the live 2D maybe if your computer can't handle the load. Or not, it could lag often. And then I want to explain the left and right. So when you name the body parts, you want to name them left or right part, right? But it turns out that it's not actually like left and right, but it's right and left, the opposite. Not sure why, so make sure when you name your model, it's right and left. And then the next thing is export file. And now if you've probably known already, but you need to export your file into a Photoshop file since if I'm right, Live 2D only accepts Photoshop files, so you need to keep that in mind when you're finished drawing your model. For the cutting process, in this one, I'll just say I recommend joining the Live 2D Discord server. There you will find guides on how to cut the model and tutorials there. And there are a lot of helpful people in that server that can help you. And if you have any questions, you can ask them. And now the rigging process. And the rigging process is probably the hardest, the most confusing part, and it will take you some time to understand, like I did, how like live 2D works. In this process, I really just recommend for you guys to watch some tutorials on YouTube, to know the basics about live 2D. And I would recommend, if you're starting out, try to use simple model first and try to familiarize yourself. Now, don't be scared when you're watching tutorials. You might do the meshes, you might be so horrified by this image right here, but you don't need to worry. That's not that scary. Once you've gotten used to it, you'll just like, oh, all right. And this brings out the important things that I learned while rigging. Now, again, YouTube tutorials help a lot in this process. And then organize the parts well and make sure to check your model file. Okay, so YouTube tutorials help a lot in this process. What I mean by that is literally YouTube tutorials will help you this process, really. Now, like when you're starting out how to rig, I would recommend watching tutorials, especially like Chupuko Live 2D tutorial. She's really descriptive and easy to understand, and there are a lot more examples out there that you can follow. And then organizing the parts well, um, organizing the parts well will be a huge help in Live 2D, so you don't mix the other parts with each other, and it makes the process much faster because you don't have to search one by one. And then you need to check your models file before you import your file in Live 2D. For example, I didn't check my models file and realized that I didn't cut one of the important parts and I have to redo the whole thing again. So make sure to check your model parts before you export it to Live 2D. And a bit of announcement. If you guys want a model to learn how to rig, I will be providing this model for free, or you can pay however much you guys want. But if you don't want to pay, you can just put $0. And if you can use this model to rig. If you want to post online on the results that you rig, don't forget to tag me so I can see your rigging. And if you want a model that is like the one that I'm using right now, you can just use it ready to go. Just upload it to your VTube studio and everything. I will have it on my Ko-Fi too. You need to pay $6 for that, but yeah, just a little bit of an announcement. But that is all for today's video. I hope this video kind of help you guys, and if you guys do have any questions, you can put it in the comment section down below, and I'll try my best to respond to all of you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. See you. And don't forget to support me. Thank you so much.